Jerusalem Under the Rule of Rome, a short documentary by Matt Middleton. At the time of the Gospels, and for more than 100 years after that, the great city of Jerusalem was ruled by the Roman Empire. Many of the important occurrences in the New Testament occurred in Roman-occupied Jerusalem and Judea, making this an important topic to understand. In 63 BCE, Pompey the Great, part of the Roman Triumvirate, captured Jerusalem. Before the Roman occupation, Judea was ruled by the Hasmonean dynasty, which had gained control of the territory after expelling the Syrian Seleucids in the Maccabean War of Liberation in 167. In 164 BCE, Judah Maccabee recaptured Jerusalem and restored the temple. When the Romans captured Jerusalem in 63 BCE, the Hasmoneans were allowed to rule under Roman supervision until the Roman Senate appointed Herod the Great as the client king of Judea in 40 BCE. Herod was the most famous member of a family that helped to avert a clash with Jewish nationalism at the start of the Roman occupation. Herod was a Jew himself, and under his rule, which lasted for over 30 years, Jerusalem reached the peak of its greatness. Herod enlarged the Temple Mount Esplanade with supporting walls such as the famous Western Wall, in order to house his greatest achievement, the grandly reconstructed temple, which was completed in 63 CE. The temple was surrounded and protected by a new fortress as well. The new royal palace occupied much of the current Armenian quarter and was strengthened by immense towers that were integrated into the old walls. To add to the Hellenistic character of the city, an amphitheater was added. Before his death in 4 CE, Herod expanded Jerusalem past its double walls and established it as the cultural and religious center that it is today. After Herod died, he was replaced by his son, Herod Archelaus, who was deposed by the Romans in 6 CE and replaced by the first of a series of Roman procurators, or governors. The most famous of these procurators was the fifth, Pontius Pilate, who was appointed in 26 CE and ruled for 10 years. It was under Pilate that Jesus of Nazareth was crucified. From 41 to 44 CE, Jerusalem was ruled by Herod's grandson, Herod Agrippa, upon whose death the procurators returned. This angered the Jews, who began to rebel. The Great Revolt of the Jews against Rome began in 66 CE. In 70 CE, Jerusalem was besieged and wholly destroyed by the Roman Emperor Titus. At this point, the revolt ended, except for 960 surviving zealots that fled to the fortress of Masada, a beachhead situated on the top of an enormous rock near the Dead Sea. Here the zealots camped for 3 years under a Roman siege. In 73 CE, facing certain defeat and the possibility of being sold as slaves, the leader of the Masada zealots, Alazar ben Yair, decided that all the defenders should commit mass suicide in order to die as free people. Hundreds of thousands of Jews died in the revolt, and many more sold into slavery. The last period of Jewish sovereignty in this era was after the Bar Kokhba's revolt in 132 CE, during which Judea and Jerusalem were regained for the Jews. This independence was short-lived, however, as Emperor Hadrian and the Roman army destroyed Jerusalem in 135. He built a new city with new walls and renamed it Aelia Capitolina. The Jews were exiled from Judea, now Palestinia. The layout of the Aelia Capitolina has lasted in Jerusalem to this day. Despite the destruction of Jerusalem and the Temple, Judaism was able to survive. The Sanhedrin, the governing body of the Jews, reconvened in Yavne and then in Tiberias, on the coast of the Sea of Galilee. Synagogues were established in other places, and priests were replaced by rabbis. And so ends what is known as the Roman era in the history of Jerusalem. Thanks for watching.